originally, the ending scene, the famous ending scene, was not in the original script. Originally, and I've seen copies of the old script, at that ending point, Alice walks off and says something to the policeman. And so I was just on the set to do the drowning scene, and that was going to be it. And then Sean was inspired by Carrie with the scene at the end. And so he actually put the idea out, said, let's try to come up with a surprise ending here. And it was Tom Savini who came up with this ending. Of course, they all worked together on it. But Tom said, you know, why don't we have a dream sequence in which Jason seems to come up out of the water and grabs her into the water, and then she wakes up in the hospital. Now, I had a problem with that because I felt as a kid, and I was a big fan of Swamp Thing and Creature from Black Lagoon. You know, I mean, it was easy for me to think that someone could survive underwater. And of course, you know, the second the drop of blood of his mother reaches the pond, boom, he's just transformed and seeking vengeance. Okay. And see, it's this seeking righteous vengeance that defines the Jason character and also separates Jason Voorhees from all the other horror icons. They said, we're going to have you go work with the makeup man, Tom Savini, and he had a little studio out in the woods in Connecticut, because that's where we were shooting. I mean, pardon me, that's where Sean Cunningham's film company was, in Connecticut. And I happen to live in Connecticut. So they said, okay, and we just went off into this studio, and meeting Tom Savini and his assistant Tasso Stavrakos was a big, let me say that again. Meeting Tom Savini and his assistant Tasso was a big influence on me as a young kid, you know, very interested in learning about the business and just fascinated. It was like being in a wizard's workshop, seeing all the tricks of the trade right there. And Tom was so, you know, fun to be around. You know, they were always like stage fighting and riding motorcycles. They had these amazing mustaches, and that's why I grew a mustache. And I was looking into the waters of Crystal Lake, kind of getting into the character, getting into the vibe, you know, getting into who is this little Jason, and getting angry, as it were. And Kevin Bacon just happened by. Hey, Ari, what you doing? And I, without missing a beat, I said, I'm getting into character. And he just started laughing and just pointing and laughing. And then he went back and got Harry Crosby and said, oh, Ari, tell him what you told me. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm getting into character. Don't you guys do that? And he basically made some crack about trying to get into the other characters, but I think it went over my head as a kid.